What's up, basketball fans? Get ready for a story that goes beyond the court and straight to the heart. This past Friday was a meaningful night for the Minnesota Timberwolves. But the playoff race wasn't the only reason why. For the first time in his NBA career, veteran sharpshooter Joe Ingles played a game with his autistic son, Jacob, watching from the stands. To make the moment even more special, the Timberwolves decided to give Ingles his first start since January of 2022. Ingles played 6 minutes in the Timberwolves' dominant win over the New Orleans Pelicans, and while he didn't score, the night was about so much more than points and assists. After the game, Ingles shared a touching moment with Jacob, a memory they will surely cherish forever. According to reports, Ingles' wife Renee and their 3 children, who usually stay in Orlando, were visiting Minnesota. There were initial concerns that the sensory overload of an NBA arena might be too much for Jacob. However, he was able to watch a game earlier in the week where Ingles didn't play. Timberwolves head coach Chris Finch made the heartwarming decision to start Ingles on Friday, explaining after the game that it just felt like the right thing to do and that it gave the team an emotional lift. He said, "Sometimes you gotta do the human thing." Coach Finch credited the idea to someone else but emphasized that the team was fully behind it. Ingles also spoke candidly about the challenges of raising Jacob, emphasizing the importance of autism awareness and supporting families in need. He shared a powerful quote, saying, "This is real. It doesn't matter who you are or your lifestyle, your money, whatever. Jacob doesn't really care I play basketball. He wants his dad home." Ingles, an 11-year NBA veteran known for his time with the Utah Jazz, has been a vocal advocate for autism awareness. He and his wife have consistently used their platform to raise understanding and support for families like theirs. This story is a beautiful reminder that there's more to sports than just the competition. It's about the human connections and the moments that truly matter. We're sending our love and support to Joe, Renee, and Jacob Ingles. What are your thoughts on this touching story? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more positive stories from the world of sports. What's going on, NBA fans? The King is back. LeBron James made his return to the Lakers lineup after sitting out for nearly 2 weeks with a groin strain. And to make things even more exciting for Lakers faithful, Luka Dončić was also on the court. It looked like the Lakers were finally getting healthy and ready for a playoff push. But then the Chicago Bulls came to town. And, well, let's just say the welcome back party for LeBron didn't exactly go as planned. The Bulls absolutely dismantled the Lakers, handing them a brutal 146-115 loss, their most points allowed all season. By the fourth quarter, Lakers coach J.J. Redick had seen enough and emptied the bench. It was that kind of night. LeBron finished with 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 turnovers in his return. Playing 31 minutes, Luka Dončić had a solid game, scoring 34 points with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. But even their combined efforts couldn't stop the Bulls' onslaught. Speaking of the Bulls, their guard Josh Giddey had an absolutely incredible performance. He nearly pulled off a quadruple-double, finishing with 15 points, 10 rebounds, 17 assists, and 8 steals. That's just insane. He was so close to the first quadruple-double in the NBA in almost 30 years, since David Robinson in 1997. What a game for Giddey. As a team, the Bulls were on fire, shooting over 58% from the field and hitting 19 three-pointers. The Lakers, on the other hand, turned the ball over 21 times and just couldn't keep up with the Bulls' offensive firepower. The Lakers have been up and down since LeBron's injury, relying heavily on Luka Dončić. They're in a tight race in the Western Conference with only a few games left in the regular season. They desperately need their key players healthy and playing together if they want to make a deep playoff run. This loss to the Bulls was definitely a humbling experience for the Lakers. Especially with LeBron back in the lineup, they'll need to regroup quickly and figure out how to bounce back as the playoffs draw closer. What did you think of this game? Were you surprised by the Bulls' dominant performance? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more NBA news and highlights. The bracket is already busting. We've got our first major upset of the 2025 NCAA men's basketball tournament as John Calipari's number 10 seed Arkansas Razorbacks defeated Rick Pitino's number 2 seed St. John's Red Storm in a hard-fought 75-66 victory. This West Region matchup was full of fouls and saw key players battling foul trouble. But in the end, Arkansas punched their ticket to the Sweet 16. This game was also a fascinating coaching battle between two legendary figures in college basketball, John Calipari and Rick Pitino. These two have a long history, including past matchups in the NCAA Tournament, and this was their first meeting in March Madness since the 2012 Final Four. Calipari now holds a 3-2 edge over Pitino in NCAA Tournament games. St. John's struggled mightily from the field, shooting just 28% overall and a dismal 2 of 22 from beyond the arc. They also had a shocking stat of going just 8 of 25 on layups. This poor shooting allowed Arkansas to grab a staggering 28 offensive rebounds and score 25 second-chance points. Despite trailing by 13 in the second half, the Red Storm showed some fight, cutting Arkansas's lead to just 2 points with under 5 minutes to play. However, key plays by Arkansas, including a jumper by Billy Richmond III and a steal and score by Boogie Fland after a St. John's timeout, helped seal the victory for the Razorbacks. Adding to the intrigue was the continued discussion around Rick Pitino's decision to bench his star player, R.J. Luis Jr., for the final 4:56 of the game. Luis, who had a tough shooting night, remained on the sidelines as St. John's tried to mount a comeback. This win marks the fourth time in the past 5 seasons that Arkansas has advanced to at least the Sweet 16, showing their consistent success in the NCAA tournament. It also marks the first time a Calipari-coached team has reached the Sweet 16 since 2019. What were your biggest takeaways from this upset? Were you surprised by St. John's struggles or Arkansas's strong performance? Let us know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe for more March Madness updates and analysis. Get ready, college basketball fans, because UConn is looking like the UConn of old in the women's NCAA tournament. The number 2 seeded Huskies kicked off their tournament run with an absolutely dominant 103-34 victory over number 15 Arkansas State. That's a whopping 69-point margin of victory, the largest in the tournament so far. Paige Bueckers, who many project as the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft, looked every bit the superstar, guiding the offense and adding 11 points. But the story of the first quarter was the incredible performance of Azzi Fudd. In her first NCAA tournament game since 2023, Fudd came out firing, scoring 13 points in the first quarter alone, including 3 3-pointers. She finished the game with a team-high 27 points in just 22 minutes. Shooting lights out from beyond the arc. But it wasn't just the Bueckers and Fudd show. Freshman sensation Sarah Strong continued her stellar postseason play, dropping 20 points and grabbing 12 rebounds for another double-double. Her efficiency has been remarkable, and she's putting up numbers that rival some of UConn's all-time greats. The Huskies were firing on all cylinders, shooting nearly 70% from the floor in the first half and racking up steals and blocks on the defensive end. They looked like the experienced program that they are, with a record 11 national championships to their name. Looking ahead, there's a potential Elite 8 rematch brewing between UConn and number 1 seed USC. The article mentions that USC's coach felt her team was disrespected with their seeding, and they might have to go through this UConn juggernaut to prove their point. UConn won their Elite 8 matchup last year despite being injury-riddled, and they'll be looking for a similar result this year with a healthy squad. The concern for the rest of the tournament field is clear. UConn is clicking at the right time. And with stars like Bueckers and Fudd leading the way, they look like a serious contender for the national championship once again. What did you think of UConn's dominant performance? Can anyone stop them in this tournament? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more March Madness coverage. What's going on, Lakers fans? Get ready for some high praise directed at one of your rising stars. Lakers legend and Hall of Famer James Worthy has made a pretty significant comparison, likening current Lakers guard Austin Reaves to the one and only Pistol Pete Maravich. Now, that's some serious company to be in. Worthy, who knows a thing or two about Lakers greatness, made the comparison while analyzing Reaves' game on Spectrum Sportsnet. He specifically pointed to Reaves' continued improvement and development, suggesting that an all-star selection might even be in his future. Reaves has certainly become a vital part of the Lakers, forming what looks like a legitimate Big Three alongside LeBron James and Luka Dončić. He's putting up impressive numbers this season, averaging nearly 20 points and 6 assists per game, and his scoring has been even higher since February. One of the key aspects of Reaves' game that has drawn the Maravich comparison is his improved ball handling skills, particularly his now signature behind-the-back dribble that he uses to create space and get past defenders. It's become a trademark move that's getting noticed around the league. For those who might not be familiar, Pete Maravich was a true showman and one of the most prolific scorers in college basketball history. Holding the all-time scoring record for decades, he brought a flashy and exciting style to the NBA, becoming a big star during a time when the league was still trying to gain popularity. The article does point out a key difference between the two players. Maravich's flash was often for the sake of entertainment, while Reaves' flash seems more out of necessity due to his lack of elite athleticism and speed. However, the results are the same. Both players have a knack for making impressive plays. It's a huge compliment for an undrafted player like Austin Reaves to be mentioned in the same breath as a Hall of Famer like Pete Maravich by a Lakers legend like James Worthy. It speaks volumes about Reaves' hard work, his skill development, and the impact he's having on the Los Angeles Lakers. What do you think of this comparison? Lakers fans? Do you see similarities between Austin Reaves and Pete Maravich? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more Lakers news and analysis. March Madness is living up to its name. Folks, we saw a major upset in the NCAA Tournament as number 2 seed St. John's fell to number 10 seed Arkansas. But the final score wasn't the only surprising thing about this game. The biggest head-scratcher came down to a coaching decision by the legendary Rick Pitino, with St. John's trailing late in a tight 75-66 loss. Their star player, reigning Big East Player of the Year R.J. Luis Jr., was noticeably absent from the court. Luis, who averaged impressive numbers throughout the season, had a rough shooting night against Arkansas, going just 3 for 17 from the field. But what raised eyebrows was Pitino's decision to keep Luis on the bench during the crucial final minutes when the Red Storm were trying to mount a comeback. When asked after the game why he sat his best player, Pitino gave a very blunt and concise 7-word answer: he had a bad game. That's why. Now, it's true that Luis had one of his worst performances of the season. 9 points on tough shooting is not what you expect from your star. However, he was still getting to the free throw line and grabbing rebounds. With St. John's needing points and looking to draw fouls late, many are wondering if Luis could have provided a spark. Pitino clearly wasn't looking to publicly criticize his star player, and perhaps he saw something in practice or during the game that led to his decision. But it's a move that will likely be debated and second-guessed by St. John's fans and college basketball analysts throughout the offseason. For his part, Luis reportedly owned up to his performance in the locker room after the loss, which shows maturity and accountability. Ultimately, Coach Pitino knows his team best. But in the high-stakes environment of the NCAA tournament, benching your best player in the final minutes of an upset loss is a bold move that will be heavily scrutinized. What do you think of Pitino's decision? Was it the right call? Or should Luis have been given another chance to turn things around? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more March Madness coverage. Stop what you're doing, basketball fans, because we just witnessed an absolute clinic put on by the Chicago Bulls. LeBron James made his return to the Lakers lineup, but the Bulls didn't care one bit. They came into Los Angeles and absolutely dismantled the Lakers, winning by a whopping 31 points in a 146-115 victory. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement. The Bulls, who are still below .500, played like a team possessed. And they did it on the road against a Lakers squad that was finally getting healthy. Leading the charge for Chicago was Kobe White, who had a lights-out performance, dropping 36 points and hitting 6 three-pointers. He was simply unstoppable, matching Luka Dončić bucket for bucket in the first half and then continuing his dominance as the Bulls pulled away. But the story of the night might just be Josh Giddey's incredible performance. He was this close to recording the NBA's first quadruple-double since 1997. He finished with 15 points, a ridiculous 17 assists, 10 rebounds, and 8 steals, just 2 steals shy of history. What an unbelievable stat line. The Bulls' offense was firing on all cylinders. They shot the ball incredibly well, scoring the most points the Lakers have allowed all season. They had 7 players score in double figures, showing just how balanced and effective their attack was. Even though the Lakers had LeBron back and Luka Dončić scoring 34 points, they simply couldn't keep up with the Bulls' energy and execution. The Lakers' defense, which is usually a strength, had no answers for Chicago's offensive onslaught. This win is a huge confidence booster for the Bulls, who are looking to solidify their playoff positioning in the Eastern Conference. And for the Lakers, it's a disappointing setback, especially with LeBron's return. They'll need to figure out what went wrong and bounce back quickly. What did you think of the Bulls' amazing performance? Were you surprised by how dominant they were? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more NBA game recaps and analysis. Alright, Lakers Nation, we've got a game to talk about that started with hope and ended with a thud. LeBron James made his return to the lineup, and Luka Dončić was doing everything he could. But the Lakers got absolutely hammered by the Chicago Bulls, losing 146-115 in a game that felt over by halftime. The return of LeBron was the big story, but his first game back after 2 weeks showed some rust. He scored 17 points but also had 5 turnovers, including a bizarre inbound pass that went straight out of bounds, a sign of the Lakers' sloppiness throughout the night. Speaking of Luka Dončić, the guy was putting on an offensive clinic. He poured in 34 points, hitting threes from everywhere, but even his brilliance was marred by 7 turnovers. And defensively, he wasn't his usual engaged self as the Bulls ran wild. And run wild they did. The Bulls shot a scorching 58.3% from the field and looked unstoppable, especially in the first half where they made nearly 79% of their 2-point shots. The Lakers' defense was practically non-existent. They couldn't stop anyone at the rim or on the perimeter. Leading the charge for the Bulls was Coby White, who torched the Lakers for 36 points. Rookie Matisse Bueckers also had a breakout game, dropping 31 points. And of course, we can't forget Josh Giddey, who was flirting with history, almost notching a quadruple-double with 15 points, 17 assists, 10 rebounds, and 8 steals. That would have been the first quadruple-double in the NBA in nearly 30 years. The Lakers just looked out of sync, like a team that hadn't played together in weeks, which, in fairness, they hadn't with LeBron and Rui Hachimura returning. But this was a blowout loss to a Bulls team that's well below .500. And it's definitely cause for concern for Lakers fans with the playoffs approaching. They have only a handful of games left in the regular season, and they desperately need to find some consistency and get everyone healthy and on the same page. This game was a stark reminder that they have a lot of work to do. What are your thoughts on this Lakers loss? Were you surprised by the Bulls' dominance? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more NBA analysis and updates.